That's right. It's another late night and time for another reach into the Just Giggle It grab bag. And tonight we're pulling out Missed Connections, Just Giggle It sketch number 5. And boy, oh boy, folks, I tell you, I got a good feeling about this season. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like the color of the sky or the breeze in the air. I don't know what it is, but I get a good feeling about this season. You know, I don't know why. Tiki, why do you think that is?
Well, judging by our thumbnail, Dragon, I think it's the season of Sipka.
Yeah.
So, Dragon, I chose this thumbnail for a reason. It's like, just think of Sipka like, all right, Piper, you did a great job with your season. I'm gonna hand off the roses to you. It's my turn.
You know what's funny? I'm not even. It's completely unrelated to this, but just with the whole flower imagery and this kind of the passing of the torch of it all. I gotta
Yeah,
tell you,
exactly. The pretty flowers. I actually have that intentional, Dragon. Yeah.
you have pretty flowers, but I was thinking something more recent because I don't follow the Bachelor or anything, but I heard there was like some sort of upset because it kind of preempted one of my shows tonight. And I was like, oh yeah,
no,
I heard there was
really?
some sort of upset about the Bachelor, and again, like a whole rose ceremony. It all kind of got me thinking of like, okay, so it's. This got me thinking of it, but no, seriously, folks, we kind of followed the old Pixar logic of our theme season. So we kind of teased the character who we'd kind of do the next theme season on. So it had kind of an unprecedented role in the last theme season we did on the wonderful Piper Henson, and that was Mark Sipka. He was an opening act who even persisted and kind of found his way into one of the main videos, which was Randy and Sandy Newman, which was voted for by the folks at Just Giggle and the people in the Just Giggle live stream. They really wanted to see
a treat, man. That was, oh my god.
It was indeed, and again, that's kind of a little light bulb moment, and just kind of figured, oh, let's just sell like the old Pixar Easter egg philosophy. Well, he was in that season. It's kind of teeing up the next character, the next project, which in this case is Season of Sipka, baby. Yeah. Yeah, so we're gonna celebrate Mark Sipka. And we also have a big old surprise. We're gonna keep it a little vague at the start of the season here, but as we get closer, we'll kind of reveal what it is. Let's just say we got something really special to end this season off on that we haven't had on any of the other seasons of the grab bag. To put it cryptically.
Yeah, very excited for that down the line. Of course, tease it up.
And of course, also again, we want, as we do with Piper Henson, we want to celebrate kind of our Just Giggle players here. And of course, so I think the analogy I want to run with Sipka is that Sipka is if Poncio's the secret weapon of JGI. Poncio's the secret weapon. He's the big guns. I feel that Sipka is the cavalry. You know, he's the reliable cavalry you call in where it's like, we're outnumbered, 100 to 1. We got nothing. Nothing. Like, imagine this. Let me paint you a vivid image here. Okay. So you have Joshua Thomas and Piper Henson in, like, let's say a World War I battlefield. You know, it's like they're in the trenches, man. And they're outnumbered, like bombers and everything. Oh, what are we gonna do? It's kind of a funny analogy, though. It's like, let's just say it's somewhat of in a comedy setting of something they would do if they had a big budget on Just Giggle. Like, okay, they're in a war, so it's like, Piper, what are we gonna do? McBride's down. Look at him. Ken Armand is dead. What are we gonna do? I'm just shaking Piper like there's no more. Piper, we're doomed. Poncio's out to lunch. We're doomed. He's not getting my text. We're gonna die. If only we had some cavalry of funny to save the day. And then you have like almost like a Lord of the Rings entrance. Like, what is it? Two Towers that has that savior entrance. Like,
it's Two Towers. Yeah.
Two Towers where they
on the horseback. Yeah.
if Sip's just kind of coming in, or like I guess to relate to World War I, you have like he's like Snoopy and he's the World War I flying ace, kind of coming in to save the day. That's Sipka for you there. And that, Sipka's always there and he always brings it. Of course, Sipka famously the one who coined the phrase "another Joshua Thomas grand slam" in his impression of Al Pacino.
Yeah, I feel like Sipka is he's a great representation of kind of like the ensemble talent that makes up Just Giggle It. He's someone that Joshua Thomas kind of found off the street. And now look at him, Dragon. He's a rising star in the LA comedy scene. He's got his own Amazon Prime special.
Yes, one could say he's one jump ahead of the breadline.
Well, funny you mentioned that, Dragon, because I was going to say, in some ways, Joshua Thomas could say he's, say it with me, Dragon.
Proud of his
Proud of my
boy.
boy.
Yes, he's proud of his boy.
Oh, God. All right. Big, that man, how many years have we been doing that running joke, Dragon? I forget how that even came up.
Well, I think I brought it up, and I can't. We either brought it up during Daredevil or Bates Motel. It was one of those two. Anyway, yeah. So, sorry.
I just said Clay Aiken.
Yes, Clay Aiken is
back when he was relevant.
Back when Disney was rejecting Clay Aiken. Yes. So, yes. Anyway, no. But age-old running gags aside here. So, of course, for this month, the parameters of this, we've covered a lot of Sipkas. Incidentally, we've covered pretty much all the main kind of Sipka featured things from Just Giggle It for the most part. Like, I want to say at least 80 to 85% we've covered of Sipka, leaving mainly three videos. So we're going to cover these three videos, and then we're going to do something really special for the fourth kind of video to kind of round out the month. Basically, the fourth one will obviously carry over into April. Of course, April, the first week of April being kind of the week of funny, if you will, April Fool's Day and such. It'll definitely be kind of definitely feel very appropriate, let's say. So again, something really special lined up for that week. Again, teasing it up. But yeah, folks, trust me. Yeah, we're going to break down kind of like three videos we have not really kind of gotten to yet with Sipka. One of which, the one we're starting with here, we almost had worked in there for the Piper Henson season.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that fate sort of wound up that way, Dragon, where I feel like this is, I don't know, I feel like either one of them could have been the start of the Sipka season, and then by process, the end of the Henson season. Either one of the Randy Newman one or this. I feel like they're both kind of like thematically linked to each other in that way. They're, they're definitely Mark Sipka, Piper Henson starring vehicles. And Dragon, one could say in the weird, like, Just Giggle It cinematic universe we have in our own special little headcanon of ours. This is like, think of these two as like Randy and Sandy Newman meeting for the first time.
Oh, God. I didn't quite see it.
Like, somehow over time they transform into Randy and Sandy Newman.
I didn't quite see it like that, but yeah, I won't shoot down your whimsy.
I'm just saying it's kind of funny because, like, in the Randy and Sandy Newman sketch, we have, a couple who's been married for a long time. They're very kind of glued to each other. And in this, we have literally a couple meeting for the first time and hitting it up. And funny enough, they also have very, very particular weird patterns of speaking.
How true.
And the patterns of speaking is kind of like the reason why they bond. Think about it.
Yeah.
It makes more sense than you think, Dragon.
It does. Right. So, of course, right out the gate, of course, Tiki mentioned a little bit, just to give it kind of a proper shout-out to Sipka's comedy special.
Yeah, my special family special available on Amazon Prime for free. It's a great special. It's an hour-long roast of his family in the most loving of ways. His family's right there on stage to react to it. You get some wonderful reactions and feedback from his father, who's kind of like the highlight of the thing.
Tim Sipka.
His mother's the heart and soul, and his brothers are kind of the butt of the jokes. # beta fish, bro.
yes. But it's definitely worth checking out, folks. It's a roast unlike any other. In kind of a day and age where we need to spice up these roasts a little bit more, because right now we're not taking enough. It's just it used to be kind of the golden age of roast with the Dean Martin roast, and then you have just kind of like the more kind of bleep-worthy Comedy Central roast. We have this roast, which is kind of like beyond compare, you could say.
You know what else is beyond compare, Dragon?
What else?
Dramatic pause for effect. Harley Quinn and the Joker versus the real world.
That's right.
Yes, true story. I was actually just rewatching episode 5 today. Just for kicks. It's been a while since I've sat down and watched it from beginning to end. And my God, Dragon, it really lives up. I mean, man, like that episode is like just I'm not saying this because we need to get the numbers up on episode 5. I'm saying it just genuinely as a fan, Dragon. You know, of course they had to recast Brianna Oppenheimer, and just the way that goes about, and the way that the Harley Quinn that we get. First of all, we get that great name, you know, the whole like the guessing game, like, ooh, change of actress. Yep. That's all great. I don't know, Dre. I'm going on and on. I just episode 5, man. It subverts expectations. It's funny. It's tragic. It features Piper Henson singing a lovely rendition of "Oh Danny Boy." Ah, it's so good. So good, Dragon.
You know, funny you say that because I also have been doing some Harley Quinn the Joker related things recently myself. I've been going back on a few of the Just Giggle It videos, basically kind of want to do the rewatches on them, and and lately, especially for Harley Quinn the Joker, I've been kind of like time stamping within the comments, like some of the big kind of noteworthy kind of highlight moments, and of course for episode 5, I highlighted the timestamp of kind of this moment that it's kind of occurred to me on a rewatching because I'm obsessed with these things. Basically, the moment where if you need an example of like what Joshua Thomas brings to the role of the Joker, like you have an actor who truly gets this character compared to other people who's either putting on the Joker or like many other people just kind of attempting to become Joker. It's like, okay, I'm just going to go around and laugh a lot, and it's kind of me doing the Joker. You see a moment with Joshua Thomas where basically it's kind of a hostage situation, it's a robbery that's unfolding. You kind of see the Joker's reaction to this, and that again, that's absolutely a guy who gets that character. So I kind of highlight that with with little timestamps, like you can go to it and it's like, oh my god, yes, this is a guy, this is a performer who understands the Joker beyond just kind of like the surface level of the character, which again is the main thing for this whole series. If anyone wants to see a show that gets these characters, you want to watch Harley Quinn the Joker versus the real world. You want to watch it, you want to get to episode 5, you want to rewatch a lot because you're going to get the end of episode 5 and you're going to ask the age-old question, where's episode 6? I want more, darn it. I'm going to tell you how you get more. You want more? Well, you got a whole vat of porridge ready and waiting here, folks, because soon, right now, they've been working on episode 6. Basically, it's in the editing phase. For all I know, it could be done at this point, and that means it's going to be waiting in kind of the old Joshua Thomas Prince vault, if you will. It's going to be waiting on a shelf in the can, and just waiting for the view count on episode 5 to get up to 1 million. So you're going to be asking yourselves, where's episode 5? Well, I'm telling you, you can make episode 6 happen. Make episode 6 happen by watching episode 5, get those views up to 1 million. Share the video, get the word spread primarily. Not asking much, folks. Just watch it and share it. Tell your friends about it. That's all we're asking. Get that view count up to 1 million, and we get more episodes.
1 million views.
1 million. Da-da-da, da-da. Okay, no. Anyway, so all that aside. Yeah, so I guess all said and done, I guess we get into a little bit of background I have. It's very minimal, but getting to the sketch itself. So this episode is, I think it's technically supposed to be misconnections. Of course, the mist just being like, oh, like there's not really to the outside viewer, really connection is not being forged to any sane person, but a connection is forged between these two wacky characters within the sketch. Hence the whole mist of it all.
Mm-hmm.
So this is directed by Yuka Kodono. So Yuka, the long lost founder of Just Giggle It, one of the long lost founders, kind of the Mickey Rooney of the founders. I like to joke about Yuka. Yuka's, she was like the, my uncle's got a barn, let's put on a show kind of voice in the room, where she says, well, hey, I know some where we get some equipment and stuff to shoot some sketches. Let's do it. Like, why don't we film them? Why don't we? We have the improv group going on here. Let's do it. Let's film it. Let's just, again, she's kind of the get up and go of Just Giggle, and she didn't stick around that long. Hopefully moved on to bigger and better things and such. But yeah, episode 5 of the Just Giggle It sketches. I mean, it shows you how early on this was, that Yuka was still involved. It's kind of a fun blast from the past in that regard.
Yeah, for sure it is. And it is kind of, a cool meeting of the mind between Henson and Sipka, if you will.
Yes,
and of course you can also tell that it's early Just Giggle It, Dragon, because it's like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna harp on this, but I'm gonna harp on it in a loving way. All right. It's like, oh, this is totally a fancy restaurant and not literally someone's backyard.
It's like Fuego Italian from the Facebook Corpse proposal. It might actually be the exact same set by all means. It could be just the same restaurant they're going for, but I don't know.
Again, just giggle at cinematic universe.
Again, better than the restaurant in the Pokemon parody.
Slightly better, slightly better.
But come on, it's way better than that. Well, that was like obviously inside someone's house. This is like at least there were outdoor restaurants, I guess, like a bistro of some variety. I mean, Bruce Wayne got away with it in Dark Knight Rises. There's got to be like a
bistro that happens to be behind someone's obvious backyard.
You just got to rain on all of my outfits.
I'm sorry.
What do I look like? Ennui the baguette to you? Why always? What am I, Ennui the baguette?
Well, anyway. You know what? We give Just Giggle It so much praise and so much love. I'm sure it's almost probably refreshing for them to be like, yeah, they're calling us out. Good for them.
Anyway, so this was written by Piper Henson and Yuka.
Oh, nice.
Well, also, this is a little noteworthy. This apparently was the first in the chronology of everything. Because remember, they did shoot a few things out of order. Like the first thing they ever shot was the Facebook the social knot work.
Mm-hmm.
But in that space of things, I guess consistently, this was the first. This is the first episode they did without Joshua Thomas on the set. Like he edited this, but again, he wasn't physically on the set. This is the first time that sort of thing happened. So like Josh Thomas being highly involved in the initial, I guess, the initial set of the first season of Just Giggle It. So, little fun fact for you. Okay, but here's the real thing we got to talk about though. You're probably here's the real thing that does actually have a lot of validity into what we're talking about here is this is a parody apparently. So the Missed Connections is probably quite possibly the best parody they've ever done. Quite possibly, I mean that. Of course, my favorite's still always going to be Making a Murder. I think technically, objectively, this is because of what they do here. It has to be the best parody because they do it line for line. So there is
really
yes. So here's the thing.
So, this is fascinating. Okay, I just thought it was like just based on the general mannerisms.
Okay, here's the story. Okay, get ready for this. So apparently, I guess Piper or Yuka happened upon Miss Teen USA 2007. There's like this clip. If you go to the video, if you go to the Missed Connections video, they have a link to it just in case you want to see it. And it's basically you get to see one of the contestants of like Miss Teen USA being asked a question, and the question, from what I recall, is it's a very simple, straightforward, very easily answered one, where it's
I remember this. I remember this. I know what you're talking about.
Where it's basically the question like, how do you spread awareness, like people who don't recognize people who can't find the United States of America on the globe, like how would you rectify that, or on a map, like how would you rectify that? That's the question. Very straightforward, right?
Mm-hmm.
And her response is identical to basically the first section of dialogue that she has in every single word of dialogue she has at the start of this thing, before it becomes a back and forth. Everything that she just says at the start of this, that is from that clip.
Oh, that's great. That's wonderful.
That's Piper Henson doing Piper Henson being a chameleon. Again, she just does a spot-on impression of Miss South Carolina.
Yeah, technically, isn't she Miss California in this sketch?
Well, this one, yeah. I'm just saying, like all the dialogue, it's supposed to be. That's what they're parodying. Right. But yeah, sure. I mean, minus maybe a southern accent, but in essence, it is exactly. She has all the mannerisms and everything she did. So yeah. All right. So yeah, it's just really kind of mind blowing. That again, in actuality, it is quite possibly the most verbatim parody they've ever done. Well, okay, wait, scratch it. Now that I'm saying that, okay, you have that. Sorry, here's the thing. Space Jam is Space Jam technically is the most verbatim parody they've ever done.
Space Jam is ridiculous.
See, here's the difference. Okay, so I'm going to correct myself here so I can get it right. So Space Jam is an honest to goodness parody, where this is an adaptation. At least if it's an adaptation, it's like kind of based on a true event type video. That's kind of what it is. It's sort of I think because again, would you classify this as a parody?
Yes, I would.
Okay, well, I guess it's a parody. I guess this and Space Jam are probably the most verbatim parodies they have. Then we're just going to equate them both to parody them. So yeah, sure. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's it. Let's jump right into it.
All right, let's do it. So we start with Sitka and a very annoyed waiter dragon. Do we have the name of the waiter in this
Well,
sketch?
yes. Well, the name of the waiter, no, we know who the actor is. It's Julian
Well,
Silver.
that's what I mean. That's what I mean. The name of the actor. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Julian Silver. Of course, we've seen on a variety of Just Giggle
Oh
sketches.
yeah,
And,
right, right, sure.
he was the casting agent
A
of Hilaire.
very young-looking Julian Silver.
Remember, I actually worked his casting agent character into our Harley Quinn and Joker Christmas in July pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but yes, also from Waiter, I believe from Waiter. Wait, was it Waiter Flirting?
I'm pretty sure. I'm like 90.
Basically, you think it was either Julian or it was Saga. That's the thing. For light, I don't know why. Part of me is afraid I'm thinking of Saga right now, but I could have sworn it was Julian Silver. The point being,
No,
Julian
I'm pretty
Silver,
sure it was Julian.
good. But Julian Silver, in case you want a better example, you have like Serial Mom. He's the kid in Serial Mom. So there's a better example. And also, he's the devil in Krampus, or at least the fake. He's fakes. He's possible devil. He's possible Satan.
A lot of good rules for him.
Okay, anyway, so the point is we have him as
possible season of him. I don't know. I know we're thinking of. There's definitely some seasons in the pipeline, based on various contributors.
Right. Okay, let's see. So the point is we have Sipka playing kind of this very. I love how earnest Sipka is in this thing. He plays a very earnest man preparing for his dates, and that's like I got to tell you, the biggest thing that stands out to me about this with Sipka is again, the Sipka is not really he's not necessarily kind of the big standout. Of course, I think that goes to Piper Hinton, but there's a lot of good stuff to note with him here. Where one, I think he's kind of showing some leading man chops here. Like I'd see him kind of leading like a romantic comedy or some sort of comedy. Is just kind of like your guy there. If not that, then definitely in kind of like the supporting friend category, like a romantic comedy. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the charm of Sipka here is that he's just sort of like the everyman who's like we start things off where he's the everyman, right? Where he's just like, all right, he's very nervous. He's going to have a date with Miss California. He's very humble about the whole situation. But then as we get into the sketch, and the sketch kind of has the punchline, if you will, we kind of like elevate Sipka from everyman into something else.
Exactly. So of course he's taking her for he's taking Miss California for a date at a really nice outdoor restaurant that again I guess it's Fuego Italian or a knockoff of Fuego Italian.
Uh-huh.
He's dating he's going on for I guess I don't know if it's like a blind date or I guess the first date, so I guess well he knows who it is, so therefore it's not a blind date. He's going on a date with Miss California. And she's smoking and of course he wants the waiter to bring them the finest. When she shows up, wants the waiter to bring the finest bottle of wine, such as. And he gives this is great. It's a little tip. I love the clue in the whole sketch here. Where he says, "I want you to bring me your finest bottle of wine, such as Pinot
Grigio."
Pinot Grigio, yes. So of course, like a little such as right at the start there, it's like you get it on the
Yeah, right. I didn't even notice that, Dragon, but that's some subtle foreshadowing.
And I love what Julian Silver does here. So Julian Silver, he just as a waiter, he does not care. I love that Civic is basically being really upfront, real earnest, and everything. He's putting his heart on the front street. Like I'm a little nervous, but I'm really hopeful. I'm all optimistic and hopeful about this thing.
And Silver's just like, oh God, I have to deal with these kind of lover boy guys 10 times a day at this particular restaurant.
Pretty much like he's the waiter who doesn't care. He's kind of like Steve Martin in the Muppet movie. That's pretty much what Julian Silver's doing. if he were wearing short pants, he'd be Steve Martin. That's the same.
Yes. Oh man.
Anyway,
I think it was a shame that Steve Martin was never in the Muppet TV show.
Yeah, it's a shame. Yeah.
You know what? Maybe we'll get Steve Martin and the Muppets reuniting on Disney Plus, Dragon. I'm getting really excited about Disney Plus, but I don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
Again, I gotta wait until I have proof of one
of
the
vault's opening, shows. Dragon. The vault's opening. That's all I'll say about that right now.
Okay. So, okay. So the point is, again, we kind of set up that he wants to. He just wants to impress the girl. Okay, so enter Miss California, and this cracks me up so much.
Oh, here she is, Miss America. You know what that moment reminds me of, Dragon? It reminds me of kind of like the musical moments in South Park, where Trey Parker or Matt Stone will just be singing in the background just to enhance. I know you don't watch South Park, but it's a quirk that they do. Like sometimes, like Trey Parker will like for example, they did have a literal gag, a Miss America gag, where Matt Stone or Trey Parker was like, "Oh, there she is, Miss America." So for all I know, this might be a takeoff of that.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for a Miss America gag where we just have like the "There she is" gag. I don't know why. It's just always it always works. I don't know. So again, she has an entrance playing the Miss America music, and of course we have Piper Hinson, very in this dress and the whole 9 yards of the Miss America get up, Miss California get up. She's very statuesque. It's a very statuesque Piper Hinson.
She's of course waving to the audience. That's a big.
That's the thing that cracks. That's the thing I love. That's the thing with the playing the Miss America music. She's
like as she's walking, she's waving.
She's giving the Queen's wave, and she has like that grace about her, and she's like a rehearsed contestant making her way down as if this is like the lightning round, the questionnaire round of Miss America, which hence the parody. And of course, this is the thing that cracked me up most. Basically, the image we have here where Sipka gives her flowers, and she does the sniff. Like traditionally, when you show off for the camera, you do the sniff, like the grateful sniff of the flowers, which no one ever does in real life.
Yep.
Okay, it's nice to. I love how just kind of tripping over himself, Sipka. Again, this gives me the whole like romantic. It gives me like the leading man potential of Sipka here because I'm invested in this guy. I know nothing about this character, but I'm kind of invested. Where he's saying, "It's nice to meet you. You're gorgeous. Seriously, drop dead gorgeous." Like the whole seriously, drop dead gorgeous. Like the guy's so earnest and in love. It's so earnest and aiming to please. It's heartbreaking. It's like yeah.
All
right. So, they have a hard time finding the place? That's the question he asked. Yes, has a hard time. Did you have a hard time finding the place?
It's a little hidden.
Which gets us.
And, Dragon, I feel like that is kind of like the, if you're going to look at it in the parody sense, I guess the whole where would you find America on a map? It kind of correlates in that regard.
I'm just going to raise this a very inane conversational point I wanted to make just about the genesis of all this with the whole how do you find the map? I got a feeling I could be crazy here, but I feel like a lot of the Miss America questions they're always just showing off and just trying to atop the other one. If it were a part of you feels like you have like your average Joe there. It's always like people trying to impress, and it's kind of like the girls who are groomed into being pageant winners and beauty queens. Like they always have the prepared answers. That you never just have the average Joe, like your Miss Congeniality type answers. You don't have your I guess it's like if you have like a pageant of men there, they just can be very direct with the answer. Where you'd have like, okay, how do you find the map? How would you help people find the USA on a map or on a globe? And I think like the direct answer would be something along the lines of, I don't know, you color code it, you kind of sell the shape of it. Basically, you need better branding. Like that's what I would say.
Dragon, do you want to know my answer, like my honest answer to that question?
My honest answer is like you need better branding. That's my answer. What's your answer?
I would point to all the cultural influence that comes out of America, like the cinema, the pop culture, all the different brands like Coca-Cola and Facebook that all came out of America. Like if I were to like if it was a question of, how to identify America, I would say that I would point to America's culture.
I think you would win that contest and I'd probably lose for giving the direct answer. That's how I feel. That's how I feel it's going to go.
What can I say, Dragon? When I was in college, I was an English major.
Anyway. All right. So her acting. So what actually? It is quite clever though. That again, it's like how you have a hard time finding the place, which does have a loose correlation with the actual parody itself. So it's quite funny. Anyway, so Piper Hinson's response.
I have this word for word, Dragon. I obviously I'm not going to be able to deliver it as good as Hinson, but do you want me to go for it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I personally believe that us Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, like such as in South Africa and the Iraq and everywhere, and I believe that our education over here in the US should help the U.S. or should help South Africa, and I should help the Iraq and the Asian countries so that we will be able to build up our future for our children. Now, Sipka is taking this all in a drag, and I like how Sipka is kind of like, he's kind of putting on a poker face. You know what I mean? He's just sitting there sort of like absorbing it. You don't know if he's like thinking like, man, what is this woman talking about? Like that was my first reaction watching the sketch at first, right? And I was just thinking like Sipka was like, oh no, like it's a beautiful woman, but she has no idea what she's talking about. I can't date this girl.
Exactly. It's very oblivious to the question in the first place, because I mean, just with the actual Miss Teen America thing, I mean, is that Tiki? Am I crazy? That makes no sense, right?
It literally makes no. I mean, it's like a correlation between South Africa and America, and I don't know, kind of like a compare and contrast between like how America is privileged and South Africa is unprivileged, I guess.
Again, what correlation to a map question?
That's all I got, Dragon. That's all I got.
That's what I'm saying. I don't get the correlation to the map question.
I think I like my analogy a lot better because American culture is sort of like insidious and radiates throughout the rest of the world.
I still think mine's not as good as yours, but I think mine still gets the job.
Yours is the more literal answer. Mine is the answer that I would actually give if I was somehow competing on Miss America, and let us pray that that never happens.
Yep. Okay. So yes, again, Sipka having kind of looking at her like an eye chart for a moment, just kind of like, what? Just again, we're not sure what's going through his mind right now. But then again, this is the main reason we're kind of doing this episode.
This is a great kind of, it's a classic Just Giggle It misdirect, right? Like we've been talking about this sort of thing since day one with Just Giggle It. We think it's going to go in one direction, and they do a left turn.
Yes, and this is also kind of Sipka kind of having the kind of that cavalry thing of funny here. We're gonna a joke could just like, okay, well, technically that's the end of the parody. Technically, if you wanted to end it there, you could end it with just like him giving her looking at her like an eye chart, and then boom, just okay. Just well, so much for that.
Hey, it's upside down bounce you here.
Yeah, it could go that way, but of course, Just Giggle, we've been around Just Giggle. We kind of get a sense of no, that's not the end. That's just the quote Black Panther. That's not the end. It's just the beginning. You know. No. But in all seriousness, so this is where Sipka does what Sipka does best here. He matches her, and basically the main thing I want to celebrate with Sipka in this first installment is that Sipka is an excellent scene partner. He's the guy you want in your corner when you do a sketch. And this is where, again, he's matching what she's doing. And again, he's basically driving the comedy for the rest of the scene. So again, without that, the scene could fall flat.
Mm-hmm.
Because it reaches its end without kind of the ... here that Sipka's kind of reveling in. So then we have his response, which I believe is, so like, such as, like, where did you go to school, such as interest and such.
It's like, it's just loosely connected enough as a question that you get what he's talking about, but it fits her style, you know?
Yep. Then we have, says, I believe that
we can relate this back to education, and such as, like, creating jobs, like, such as Mandela teaching in South Africa,
such as
teaching the children, such as striving for a better community and economy and community and faith.
I just love that you stresses community twice. I get it. Let's face it, folks. I mean, during these pageants, you know, there's people, they run out of steam and they're just trying to drive home the points, and there's just desperation there of like, I gotta hit community. I don't know what to do. They're burned out so much by all the other kind of sub competitions within the grander whole. It's like, just, I got nothing. I've been trained for my looks. I don't have anything up there. I got nothing, man. I'm burned out for putting all my electoral effort into all the other competitions. I don't know why. I'm bone dry. Sell community. They have the stage mom or somebody in the audience just going, sell community, community and faith. an economy, and a community. Yeah, such as. All right.
And then somehow bringing the troops home from Iraq comes into the picture somehow.
Such as fighting terrorists, such as bringing home troops, such as and this cracks me up, such as the U.S. America.
Oh God!
Why not?
Is this a sketch to get funnier enough? Along comes Silver.
So, oh boys, a Silver. So I love this. The two of them they're giving these loving looks to each other, and the cheesy music's playing. Enter the waiter with the wine. Who, by the way, has missed his cue tremendously. By the way, apparently that wine cellar in this outdoor restaurant is really. There must be like a really long, like it must be like what do they call the tunnel in Hunchback of Notre Dame? You know, the underling of Paris, like the caverns with all the bones.
Oh, the Court of Miracles.
That's what it's called, the Court of Miracles.
Yeah, okay. the where they all hang out, you know, where that song.
Yeah, you're right. It is the Court of Miracles. I was thinking of Catacombs, but Court of Miracles is the correct one. That you got.
There's literally a song about it called the Court of Miracles.
No, I know you're right. I'm just saying I was thinking of Catacombs. But yes, you're right. That's exactly what it's called. Anyway, okay. So the point is, it's like there must be like some sort of kind of a Court of Miracles catacomb of a wine cellar. You go down the basement, you have to take a long walk. What's taking so long? Anyway, so because again they're going through all of this, and now he comes back. So anyway, so Silver here. The conversation again. So I just love the conversation shifts from a political conversation, all the Miss America questions, to general interest. And so basically, as now Silver's just kind of standing there with the wine, just kind of waiting to be acknowledged, and kind of waiting for, like, I guess, the bottle cap scene from the Muppet movie, essentially. but he's just kind of waiting there as kind of the third wheel. He's just like, I love the solid look on his face, like the static look on his face of like, I don't want to be. He's giving the Dante from Clerks look. I don't want to be here today. I'm not supposed to be here today. Look. Anyway, so then the conversation between the lovebirds here shifts to so like, what's your favorite movie? What's favorite movies such as like actors and whatnot and such? And her responses, such as the Hangover movies, Family Ties. Everything like such as Garfield movie, such as the
Garfield movie mention cracked me up.
Yeah. So then Silver, so Silver. I just love Silver without a single line, just that face that I'm not supposed to be here today face. It just with that face says it all. Just says it all with that, just holding that wine. Just like,
to take the wine so bad.
But again, you can tell like he's not going to be looking over because his eyes are locked with her, and it's just, you know, I such as like you, and then. But again, let's not. Again, we're just kind of making fun of.
Kind of like he has this sort of like correct me if I'm wrong, Dragon. Correct me if I'm wrong. All right, but in one of the Sipka live streams, we had a question come up of, I believe you raised it, of who would Sipka like to see play him in a biopic. I'm telling you, man, he's got a Jason Segel charm to him.
Oh my God! Why didn't I put that together? Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Yeah, you're right. Because I've been mulling over the casting my own mind for some potential Sipkas.
Jason Segel's the guy we got to go with, Dragon.
Yeah, Segel's better. I was thinking of Barry Goldberg, but that's better. Anyway.
Barry Goldberg, really?
Seriously, he's if you look at it,
the actor who plays Barry Goldberg. I'm assuming.
Well, that's who I mean. Yes. Seriously, if you gave that man a wig, he would look remarkably like Sipka.
All right.
Anyway,
sure.
Doesn't matter. Point again, he's funny as well because I've been binging the Goldberg, so it's like, yeah, he's pretty good for the role. Okay, no, but you're serious. Segel sounds like a far better choice. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. I think Sipka has the Segel smile, if that makes sense.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, when you bring that up, that's what I was thinking of. Like, yeah, he's got it. Yeah, that's. There's a seagull in there. I mean, let's just let's just say he's in contention. Let's not lock it down quite yet. But let's just say, you know what? Let's say he's in the running. Anyway,
right.
getting back to this, but yeah, here's the thing I gotta give Sipka major points for is that I love that. Again, we're laughing a lot at all the such as and everything, but don't forget the reason it works is because we have this stupid dialogue that in itself, like on paper, this stuff may not work. In this place, you have to have faith in your performers. Otherwise, you know this thing's not going to work. It's just, okay, it's just ridiculous dialogue, but might just sound stupid. Might not play unless you're really selling that these two are head over heels in love with each other. Like, these two are hitting it off pretty well. And again, with the dumb, it's like you could say gibberish so long as you mean it. You know, it's like one of those things. You know, like the old acting exercise where you kind of say the same, like the one line, you just repeat it back to one another until, you know, but you have it with the conviction, you kind of mirror the emotions, like all that stuff. So it's kind of like that.
Dragon, I'm getting more and more into my own headcanon of this being Randy and Sandy Newman.
Oh, for Pete's sake. No, it is not.
Dragon, we never know these people's names.
That's true.
These characters do not get named in the sketch.
They don't.
Neither of them.
Or I'm going to throw this at you. Or the woman from Pretty Flowers got some work done ever since her encounter with the.
All right, I like that. I like that.
Equally as ridiculous, but a little bit more Bible.
Anyways,
there's nothing saying that can't be her. But then again, she wouldn't wait. I think, you know, she would have been married. No, never. Well, maybe she could have gotten divorced. Unless she's divorced, then I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's the point being. Anyway, I'm sorry. Getting back on point here. Then we have like this ridiculous dialogue. Now two. Again, it really comes out of nowhere. Now two horses are talking. You have this, or do I? Am I just going to?
Now we're two horses. And Sipka, he puts a freaking towel over his face.
So now we're two horses talking together, you know, like us.
Yeah, feed us oats from Trader Joe's.
Yeah, I knew you were going to like that line, by the way.
I don't even know what to think about that line. It's so it's a random thing to end out the sketch with. I'll give it that much.
So as this is said, Silver's putting this towel over his face, and he's either quietly screaming into it, or he's suffocating himself because he looks like he's got all that frame. It's unclear, but I have a feeling that waiter's not going to be doing well. I feel that waiter's in mortal danger right now. It's like Gene from Better Call Saul. It's like, you know, he falls, we don't know what happens to him, you know?
Oh, God.
Okay, anyway.
All right, and that's the sketch?
Yes, it is.
All right, any last words, Dragon?
All right, well, I guess my final thoughts would be, you know, it's maybe a little too niche so long as parodies go, because again, it is remarkably verbatim, and that's impressive, but again, a little niche, let's say. Not taking any points away, and it's quick and to the point and niche, and again, it's ridiculous in the right ways, but it's taking a parody and kind of adapting it in kind of a really unique way, and most importantly, the big takeaway is that it's taking a parody or an adaptation, however you want to look at it, and it's mining that for great comedy, and again, making kind of ipso facto the dumbest love story you've ever seen, at least a love story with the dumbest dialogue you've ever seen, that somehow is winning because of the performance. And again, Sipka in the scene, this is kind of Sipka, the scene partner. We're kind of having demonstrated in this sketch, and I think he's really kind of proving this forward to and kind of proving kind of how he can drive a scene. And again, like, he keeps the ball in play in this scene. I'm not really trying to undervalue Piper Henson. All I'm saying, again, she's kind of bringing the main force of it all, again, with that spot-on impression, kind of her doing her chameleon thing. And Sipka's kind of keeping the momentum of the scene going, because again, it's just a one-off joke without kind of that back and forth. And he's selling the earnest love of it all within the ridiculousness that she's set up so well. So again, it turns a one-note joke into a sketch. So again, it's all very valuable stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, this was a good choice to start things out with, Dragon. I feel like it's a great kind of passing of the torch. It's like, all right, we talked about Henson, now we're talking Sipka, baby.
Yeah.
I feel like the sketch is a great example of like early Just Giggle It and the charm of early Just Giggle It, where even if, yes, they were shooting in people's backyards, the idea was there, the concept was there, the heart was there, the humor was there, the performances were there, Dragon. All the ingredients were there from day one with Just Giggle It. And this sketch really illustrates it. I really like that it's a great kind of setup and reverse of the payoff. You know, we think it's going one way, but then the sketch sort of midway through takes a dramatic left turn. My only criticism, Dragon, is I feel like the ending's a little abrupt. If I had one criticism, it'd be that. But other than that, I just think the general setup and payoff for the sketch is quite good. I like it a lot.
Okay. Well, I guess that does it for now until the next installment of the Season of Sipka. Next reach into the Just Giggle It grab bag.
Oh, there she is.
Miss America and Mark Sipka.